Golf News kicking back. I'm joined by Nick and Sham to discuss what has been an absolute thriller of a day at the World Cup. We knew that Ecuador and Senegal were playing against each other in that last Group A match. Ecuador just needed a draw to go through. Senegal needed a win. And it was just an absolute thriller of a tie. In the end, Senegal have won. It was a Kalidou Koulibaly volley from the captain. He's a centre half, but he took it like a striker. Nick, what did you think of that finish from the Chelsea man?
Brilliant. I think it's his first goal, isn't it, for his country? But he calmly side-footed it, where it was almost a striker's finish, not a defender's whack that might have ended up in rosette. A superb finish.
Sham, it was like the hokey cokey today. In, out, in, out. At one stage, both teams, were almost in. In the end, unfortunately, Ecuador, who've been so thrilling in this tournament, they're a young attacking team. That's the only way they like to play. Before today's game, the coach said, look, we're not going to change anything. He knew a point would have been enough. And most other coaches probably would have put 2 banks of 4 and just made it very hard for the opposition to try and get back amongst them. But he played the same way. He played that attacking style. And unfortunately for them, they've fallen short. But do you think that they should have approached the game differently today?
No, not at all. That would be completely out of character, because I think this is how they are. It's in their DNA, and I prefer this game. It is a shame that Ecuador had to go out, but I think they gave a good account of themselves in this tournament. But this match, I thought they were pretty flat initially, at least in the first half. Only in the second half did they come really alive. In the first half, actually, Senegal showed a lot more intent, actually. So strangely, even including Enner Valencia, they were kind of off color. But of course, they made a good fist of it in the second half. But that wasn't enough, because Senegal have packed too much power into the game.
Yeah, Nick, they had too much power. It looked that the Ecuadorians looked slightly off the pace. I mean, the idea, as Sham says, they stuck to their guns. They tried to play that same way, but it was Senegal that was doing all the early pressing. How impressed were you, considering, obviously, we've mentioned this before, they've been playing without their star man, Sadio Mane, but in Ismaila Sarr, the Watford player, the winger, he's proved quite a live wire. He scored a fantastic penalty today. It takes real guts to pull himself back up. It was shoved over. It was a clear penalty. There's no denying about that. But there was only going to be one man to put the ball down, and he got it. And it was a fantastic, nonchalant penalty right into the bottom corner. What did you think of that?
Yeah, Sarr's always impressed me when he was in the Premier League, and I think he's got a great future still. But it's one of the confirmed penalties. There wasn't any dispute there. His strength showed, and again, a wonderful side foot right in the corner. The goalie didn't have a chance, so that was a proper penalty. But as I've said before, I still like to see the laces through the ball rather than the placement. But a great penalty, and well done, Senegal.
Yeah, well done, Senegal.
Let me add, I'm exactly opposite to Nick. I would like to see a well-placed penalty.
Both, Sham, both.
But this one had power as well as placement.
Yes,
it was a lovely finish. Considering the time, it was the 44th minute, right before half time. They all knew, had that gone in, it would have changed the complexion of the game completely. It would have changed the team talks completely as well. With Senegal needing that win, they got themselves in front. It was a really brave penalty. And in fact, just looking at the possession stats, Ecuador had more of the ball. They had more shots as well, and they had more shots on target. But unfortunately for them, their star man, Enner Valencia, who was a doubt for today's game, he picked up what looked like a bad knee injury against the Netherlands on Friday, in which he scored. But he was past fit. But to be honest, Sham, he looked slightly like he wasn't actually 100% fit. He probably was carrying still a bit of a pain in that knee. But he was a bit off form today, wasn't he?
He was totally, perhaps this was his worst performance in this tournament. But Nimran, if you look at from the first match itself, he was injured. So I think he's been carrying an injury from that match through the next 2 matches. So he played the Netherlands match with the injury, and today it was really, really bad. So he was half the man he was in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Charm. He actually came into the tournament from Fenerbahce, his team in Turkey, not completely fit, but at 33 years old, he knows this is probably his last World Cup. He was never going to not play. And to his credit, he got 3 goals. He's currently joint leader. Probably he's going to be obviously passed now with the likes of Netherlands going through, who beat Qatar today. There'll be more strikers getting more than 3. But Nick, you know, in the last World Cup in 2018, no teams made it to the knockout. So Senegal have done that. They've got to the last 16. How far do you think they can actually go now?
Well, it could be runner-up in the group. It could be England. We won't preempt the results later on tonight. But their strength, their teamwork, I think they can go, you know, quite a long way. They've impressed me. I was thought Ecuador would win that match, so my prediction was wrong again. But I thought Senegal were a very strong unit, and let's see where they go. They have a chance to go even further, I believe. I
also believe that they can actually go further in, possibly at least to the quarterfinal stages. Sham, do you think they're good enough to reach that quarterfinals? But it just comes down to that again. You know, how far could they have gone had Mane been in this team? They're clearly missing that live wire up front. You know, that cutting edge. Today they played Idrissa Gana Gueye as the number 10 position. Normally he plays quite reserved. He's a defensive midfielder for Everton, but he was playing quite advanced just to try to get the team onto the front foot. They're doing all these things purely because they know they're missing the talisman, but they can still do pretty well now, can't they? Now that they're into the knockouts, it's anyone's now.
Yes, that is the point. It is the knockout, so it is anybody's game. So there are no second chances really. So not just that, Senegal. What is special about Senegal right now is they have the momentum, they have the self-belief that will take them far. And you are very right about the Sadio Mane miss because they miss him really bad because he's their talisman. He creates magic for them. I mean, if he was there, I dread to think what this team could be actually. He could then we are looking at more than a quarterfinal. Right now, I think who they're meeting in the round of 16 is going to have a tough time because these guys are on a spell of what do you call what a groundswell of confidence really. So it's been
they're a big strong team. Yeah, Sham. I mean, they're a big strong team. Nobody's going to like to face them in that last 16. I think it could be England if the result goes their way today against Wales, but that's yet to be seen. All right, today the other game was Netherlands against Qatar, and in the end, Netherlands they cruised through by 2-0. They finished top of the table. They've got 7 points. They've looked like they've got way more in them. I mean, they've got through these games that really, you know, changing gears. It looks like they're still playing in second gear. We know that there's a good quality team in there. And especially when you've got a player like Gakpo who's scoring goals for fun now. He's also got 3 goals now in the tournament. And his transfer price is going to be escalating for sure. I know that his team, PSV, aren't going to be able to afford to keep him when the January transfer window opens up. There's going to be teams lining up to try and buy him. But how far now do you think the Netherlands can do? I mean, they're playing all right, but there's more to come from them, isn't there?
True, very true. They almost look like sleepwalking through their games, but which is also a worry because they have not been able to shift gears. They've been just on like you said, it's on second gear. So if they don't shift gears, they might go home in the knockout. So it's time they really pull up their socks and do something about it. Because right now their form resembles Gakpo. There have been flashes of brilliance and long periods of mediocrity. I mean, you can't afford to do that in the knockout.
No. Nick, did you ever think that the Netherlands could go maybe beyond the quarterfinal stages of the tournament? Did you ever consider them to be, you know, one of the fancy teams like Brazil, Argentina?
Well, I think, you know, the group stage is all about qualifying. It's a long month, so, you know, they got through top of the table. Form can change very easily. The smaller teams can beat the stronger teams. We've seen that many times. Form can change from match to match. So, you know, they've achieved their goal, top of the league, top of their group. So there's still time and hit a bit of form in the the knockout stage, who knows? You know, the ones who start fast can miss the round of 16, and those who start slowly, as we've seen in history, can go all the way. So let's let the Netherlands have strength in depth, and I like the look of them, and let's see how they get in the round of 16.
Yeah, that's very true. And of course, they've got a wily old character there with in Louis van Gaal. He's a good coach. He's been around the block. He knows exactly what to do. So yeah, they're through. So well done to the Netherlands and obviously to Senegal for making it to the last 16. Tomorrow we've got 4 more fantastic games to look forward to, starting with Poland against Argentina, where we're going to see Lewandowski against Messi. Now, Sham, you know, these 2 players, they've got it in them to win a match just, you know, by themselves with a bit of magic. Who do you fancy, you know, is going to be able to is going to win tomorrow?
I would. My money is on Argentina, simply because Argentina, they came back from the dead actually. So I think they have that tailwind with them. Whereas Poland has been just cruising, but just doing enough. So unless Poland hits a higher gear, they're going to find it tough against Argentina. And Argentina, I think they are really running into form. So I expect Argentina to win.
Nick, do you believe Sham's assessment there? Do you think Argentina? Yes, he's right. He's right again, Sham. I think Argentina is the ones who are going to build the momentum, and Messi on form. I can see a celebration with Messi at the end of the match tomorrow, and Argentina for me against Poland. All right, we'll see. Now tomorrow, Saudi Arabia are playing Mexico, but the problem is Saudi Arabia captain Salman Al Faraj has been ruled out of the tournament. He's got a shin injury. He's been playing really well for them. Sham, it's going to be a big miss to lose your captain at this stage of the tournament. That's probably the last thing that the Saudis would have wanted, isn't it? Absolutely, and this is a very, very crucial game for them. So, and to miss a player of his caliber is real setback for them. But they're playing Mexico, and that's too close to call, I would say, because they would need every ounce of resource in that match. Not just that, they need every bit of energy and passion into it. And to lose your captain at a critical juncture, I think is a real setback. It's a huge setback. But Nick, look, Mexico, they're bottom of the table. They've only got 1 point. Saudi Arabia got 3 points, obviously, from that big win against Argentina. It'll be a case of, well, it's like a knockout. I mean, Mexico have to go and win this one. So does Saudi Arabia. How do you see it? It could be a very exciting game, couldn't it? It could be. We're at the crucial stage where it is arguably knockout in the group stages and win at all costs. And I just want to refer to the great support from the Senegal fans that I missed earlier. Wasn't it a great tribute how they, you know, their 12th man, and who knows, Saudi may be able to have that similar influence in that game. The crowds have impressed me, the passion of the crowds, and let's see if the Saudi crowds can take them across the line. I'm going for Saudi in that one. I also think Saudi are, I think I've been really impressed with the way they've been playing. In fact, I don't just think they're going to be lucky and sneak a win here. I think they've deserved, if they do win, they'll deserve it. If they play anything like they did, especially against Argentina, where they were just so robust and so strong. You know, every man counted. They all did the jobs really superbly. It was a really professional performance is what it really was. And on that day, Argentina had no say for it. Perhaps Mexico might struggle tomorrow. We'll find out. Another game, Australia against Denmark. That should be an interesting one, Charm. How do you think? I mean, Australia came back having lost their first match 4-1 against France. They won their next match 1-0 against Tunisia. Denmark are going to make it quite tough for them, but how do you see this one going tomorrow? Seriously, Imran, this is a tough match to call. See, Denmark has been like kind of middling team. They've been playing at the same pace throughout. So, see, they are very good at containment. But Australia is exactly the opposite. They are so robust and so, they are very upfront. They're very in-your-face kind of game. So it'll be the question is whether Denmark can tame Australia or can Australia keep up the tempo. I would pick Australia. Oh, okay, but Nick, Australia, no, a draw
would be, well, it'd be dangerous, but it would be enough for them to possibly get that second spot. You know, when the team knows that a draw is all they need, it can really have a negative impact on the way they play, isn't it? They can go into the shell, and if they concede a goal, they find it really hard to get back out and to score one. So with that in mind, what do you think the Australians should do? Just play the attacking way like Ecuador tried to do today, but unfortunately for them, it didn't work. What do you think the game plan is for the Australians tomorrow?
I think you have to start with a blank bit of paper and go for a win on merit. Otherwise, you're sticking or twisting, as they say. I think it's on its own merits. Go for the win, and I can see Australia getting that one.
I totally agree with Nick here, Imran, because if Australia were to sit back and defend, that would be totally out of character for them, and they might make far too many costly mistakes simply because they are not used to playing that kind of game, which would create more problems for them.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely could. Like I said, you know, when a team knows a draw is all they need, it can have all sorts of negative impacts on the way they normally tend to play. So it'll be interesting because it's a knockout basically. So we're going to see how they do. Finally, we know that France is already through against into the last 16. They're playing Tunisia tomorrow. They're going to be probably resting the guys like Mbappe for sure. There's no need to risk him now. They've got 6 points. They're already through. You know, Mbappe can take a well-deserved rest. He's been playing so well, and it's a chance probably for some of the squad players to come in. Nick, how do you think that one's going to go tomorrow?
France all the way. And it's important at this stage that you look at the wider squad because they may be needed in the knockout stages. So they get a bit of a flavour for, the atmosphere in Qatar and a bit of gameplay, a few minutes on the clock and everything. So I think France look in a very good position. They've already qualified and they can go a long way. They can go deep into this tournament.
Yeah, I think, Sham, they do look like they can go quite far, maybe retain the title again. They've been looking, from all the teams, they've been looking, I would say the best. I mean, in terms of the defence, their midfield, obviously their attacking play. They've looked the complete team so far, haven't they?
Absolutely. And they've been the only team who has looked like a complete team, actually. They're very well rounded, both in attack, defense, and the midfield. They didn't even miss Benzema, which says a lot, actually. So I completely agree that they could very well defend the title, unless Brazil have other ideas.
Yeah, it should be. Well, that'd be a great fun, wouldn't it? That'd be a tremendous game to see. Anyway, we'll see how all the games get on. There's 2 more tonight. We'll hopefully talk about those tomorrow. But in the meantime, head to golfnews.com for all the latest news and reviews and videos and lots more. And obviously, check us out on our social media channels. Thanks to Sham and thanks to Nick, and we shall see you all tomorrow. Good night.